Yeah, that isn't getting an intro. Cleveland, one quick thing. Why did you just waste your fans' time, my time, and anyone who watched that game? Why even show up to the arena? Why even care? Because on your home court, you lose by pretty much 40. Why even bother? Right? And I don't think this is a case of, oh, well, they tried hard. No, they didn't. This team quit. They gave up. And there is nothing, and I mean nothing, in sports, just strictly talking about the game of sports, that I despise more than a team that quits and just lets their fans, their city, and everything regarding the organization down. Because that is what the Cavaliers did. And the reason I say that they quit, right, with such passion and vitriol and preciseness is offensive rebounding, right? Being physical. How much do you want to get that ball on the offensive end? How much do you want to go up to those rebounds? How much do you want to do the dirty work that really contributes to winning? And for Cleveland, evidently not much, right? As I will tell you how a true team competes in the case of the New York Knicks. 20 offensive rebounds, right? Fantastic. That is a phenomenal number. Cleveland, six. Six. And two of those came from Evan Mobley, right? The rest, all bench players. None of the bench players played over 20 minutes, right? No one of the consistent, regular contributors were playing. No one who is a consistent starter or regular time player was willing to even go out there with heart, with just a desire to win. No one was willing to do that, right? And I am so unbelievably sorry for Cavaliers fans at the onslaught that this brings, with the just utter criticalness that we are going to have to give this Cavaliers team, and rightfully so, because it is not fair for Cavaliers fans to have to sit there and watch this team give up on them and quit. I mean, and I say this again, what is the point of even showing up to play? I mean, in 100% fairness and trying to be as objective as possible, what is the point of showing up? Why? Why do you even bother playing? Because to me, this reads like a team that quit on their head coach. Congrats, Kenny Atkinson. The series is tied 2-2 analytically. I don't think I've ever seen a coach get as turned on by the fan base as quickly as it has happened to Kenny Atkinson, and rightfully so, because this team never recovered from that game one blown lead. They never recovered. Their adjustments, always too late. When it came to getting there for the loose ball, when it came to wanting to be a bit more physical when it matters most, they didn't do that, right? And I think that all stems from their point guard bozo in James Harden, who, in this type of game, I want you to empty the clip. Just shoot anything. Who cares, right? At least let's get one so we can give our fans some hope and delusion. You take 8 shots. 8. Do you know who had one less shot than you? Thomas Bryant. You went 0 for 6 from 3, right? 8 of your 12 points came at the free throw line, right? And that isn't shocking. It seems like at a lot of points that's what you rely on to bail out your lack of conditioning, your lack of what it seems true desire to compete. And I am so sorry that Donovan Mitchell, who I harped on him last game, at least he went out there and tried. Genuinely. He, Evan Mobley, and crazily enough, Thomas Bryant are the only ones who seem to have actually cared about this game. At least with Donovan Mitchell, I can say, you know what? 31 points in 32 minutes on 18 shots. At least he tried. At least he genuinely gave an attempt. Evan Mobley, you know what? At least he tried hard defensively. I mean, I guess same thing with Jared Allen, but 5 shots isn't enough. At least those players tried. Max Strus, 6 shots isn't going to cut it. Now, I know that you just lost a turnover and offensive rebounding battle, so you didn't get as many shots. But I think that, at part, that stems to you just not wanting it bad enough. And I know that's, again, such a basic analysis of the game, but that is honestly the truth. Not much strictly X's and O's stuff can be had for Cleveland because they just got out physical. They got out physical, they got out coached, they got outworked, and they got out everything. They got bested at anything relating to the game of basketball. There is not one category that this Cavaliers team led in, right? Points, you lost that. Efficiency, hey, for free throws, you made 3 more free throws. Congrats. Rebounding, you lost by 30. Assists, lost by 10. You won the turnover battle, so at least that's something, and you won that by 9. Steals, lost by 6. Blocks, you know what? You won that by 2. Congrats. That's cool. Plus minus. Got absolutely annihilated by every single player out there. I mean, there is nothing that the Cavaliers won. And I think that this team, quite frankly, ran into their worst possible matchup. But I also think them messing around and not finishing off their opponents when they had the chance cost them. Again, round 1. No reason Toronto should have even had a sniffing chance of beating you. Even going to a Game 7 was ridiculous. Detroit should have beat that team in 6, right? That right there is 3 games. So that is 6 days of rest that you could have had. Could have had more time to study the Knicks. Could have had completely more time to make more adjustments. And then once again, playing with your food instead of giving that killing shot to win. Game 1. That is where this series ended, to me at least. That is where, okay, it's over. I don't. It's different with a team where you feel like the players can bounce back from that. Like, this isn't a Oklahoma City team, and this isn't one of like a team where they have championship pedigree. This team doesn't. The players who have had like the furthest playoff runs in their career is a James Harden when he was in his 20s, and Max Strus, and I guess Thomas Bryant and Larry Nance Jr., but he didn't play. Like, that is the caliber of players we're talking about for deep playoff runs. And this Knicks team doesn't even like have any final appearances either. But they just consistently executed down the stretch again. They went on runs again. They created separation again. And they would always find ways to win quarters again. Nothing about what I'm saying is new. This is a lack of adjustments, care, and attention to detail. Come on. Seriously. It's hard for me to feel bad for you if you didn't even try. Like, if you tried and you lost in 5, right? And you win this game by like 3 and you get killed in game 5, right? Okay, I would have been like, at least you got something. You showed some fight. It looked like you care. You wanted to give your fans something. No, you gave up. You gave up at the end of game 3, and you gave up now. 2 times you have quit on your fans, on your city, and on anyone who has believed in you. And that is unacceptable. If I'm Dan Gilbert and I'm watching this team, I'm not buying any fat heads of them, and Dan Gilbert is the owner of Fat Heads. So that's where that reference comes into play. But on a more serious note, I genuinely don't know how, if you're a Cavaliers fan, I don't know how this makes you feel. Like, other than just disgusted. Seriously. I mean, this has got to be the most dejecting and gutting defeat of a series that you can have, because it was right there for the taking. I mean, if you seriously think about it, if you didn't mess around in the first series, right? You didn't mess around. You probably wouldn't have had to go to as many games, right? Against Detroit if you're more fresh. You don't have like sluggish games. You don't have a game, like if you win game 6, get another game off, right? You get another opportunity to rest, recalibrate, and see what adjustments you want to make going forward, what you learned from the previous series, and how you want to apply it to New York. You have more time to watch film on New York. You also, just shocking, take the time out, Kenny. Like, also, James, get a stop, brother, please. Like, if those 2 things happen in game 1, this is a completely different conversation. Because at the very least now, if you won that game, not only did you steal momentum, you stole the momentum, right? You got the momentum on your favor, right? You steal home court, you get home court safe, you split, and it's 2-2. Like, the way that we talk about San Antonio and Oklahoma City, that could have very easily been Cleveland if they just won a game at home, and didn't blow one of the largest leads in NBA history under 8 minutes. Like, that is the, like, I know that sounds like a lot. It really isn't. Win one game of basketball and don't play like a historically bad team for 8 minutes. Like, that isn't a whole lot to ask. And you still couldn't do that. Like, right, looking for these players for Cleveland, I think there's going to be a mass change going on here. I think Kenny Atkinson is gone. Players, Jared Allen, I'm not a fan. Usually you've been emptying the clip at the end of series, right? Last series in Game 7, 23 points, 7 rebounds, played good, right? Game 7 on the first round, 22 and 20. We'll call it what it is, right? 22 and 19 doesn't sound as nice as, I mean, it doesn't sound as nice as a 2020 game, right? 22 and 19. Just call it a 2020 game. It just doesn't. I mean, he didn't empty the clip this time. Evan Mobley, I'm liking more of the aggressiveness. I do think the offense is just limited at this point. I've given up on the idea of wanting him to just be a more focal point of a team because that just isn't going to be the case anymore, unfortunately. I've liked your development over the course of these playoffs. I think it's been really good for you as a player because you're still a young guy. You're going to be turning 25. So, I mean, it's not like your development is anywhere finished. And now we get to James Harden. James, I've already had my rant about you and how you can't move your feet. But this is a new low for you. This might be the lowest point of your career. Because in the most important series for your legacy, where you are a legitimate starter, if you played on average 2 more minutes a game, that would be more than your field goal percentage. Your 3-point percentage, good Lord, man, 18%. The only thing you did well was free throws, which that isn't shocking for you. But, I mean, legitimately, you were terrible these playoffs. You were an abomination on the basketball court. You were awful, right? Every game except for one, you shot either over 40% and didn't have 5 turnovers. All but one game. One legitimately efficient game, and you lost that by 20. Defensively, you were terrible. You were awful. You had one good shooting game, right? If your offense was clicking, I'd be more accepting of your defense. If you're not doing that, you don't contribute anything. At this point, you average 3 assists a game. You average more turnovers than assists, right? Last series, whoop-de-doo, 2 more assists than turnovers. Series before that, 1 more. Like, you're the point guard, man. You got to be efficient with the ball. You can't turn the ball over 5 times a game and expect good results. And I think this falls back onto Cleveland making a dumb trade because they're like, you know what, Darius Garland, he might not be available. Okay, well, I would rather Darius Garland sit and play Sam Merrill over James Harden. And I'm not even like trying to be hyperbolic or making jokes or whatever. I would rather have a Darius Garland coming off of a broken jaw than this disgusting attempt at being a championship contending point guard. James, your legacy, in my opinion, is forever changed by this. This playoffs hurts your legacy very much. It hurts your legacy a ton. It is up there with some of the series that you have squandered, which you are maybe the biggest choker in NBA history. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if the Cavaliers hired Doc Rivers and brought back James Harden, because that would be par for the course for this team. Seriously, Donovan Mitchell, right? I've praised you a ton, man. I think that historically, you've been a very good playoff performer, at least when it matters, and I like that you empty the clip at the end of series. But I think it's bad. This is bad. I mean, no way to sugarcoat it. Your shot is gone. 3-point shooting. You got it back this series, right? Last series, 29. Series before that, 33. Right? Historically in the playoffs, your 3-point shooting drops over 2%. Like, that isn't great. If your 3-point shot isn't falling, I've already gone on this, but if your 3-point shot isn't falling, the slashing makes it harder because you can just build a wall around the rim and just say, okay, cool, we'll let you shoot. If you're a 34% 3-point shooter, cool. That's fine. We'll take that, right? That's fine. But, I mean, I think that if the 3-point shot is falling and if you're giving a little bit more effort defensively, which I will admit he did do, he did actually, at points, look like he played competent defense, although Jalen Brunson just split the two or split the double team very frequently. I mean, it's kind of shocking how good he is in double teams. But I mean, I'm not gonna get on him too much. Max Strus, I this series you were terrible. You shot 29% from the field. There's just no way around it. Your efficiency has been terrible. When you're not playing the Toronto Raptors, your efficiency is terrible. And you're playing a bad team. I mean, you had a bad playoff run, right? Dean Wade, you know what? Don't mind it. You are good at your role. You are a good defender and good rotational, occasional shooter, right? You did your role. Don't mind it. I mean, you shot 38% from three, only on 3 attempts. But I mean, you were good in your role. You did what you're supposed to. Good for you, man. Naquan Tomlin. I mean, you rolled. You didn't get many minutes at points. I would have liked to have seen you play a bit more, but adjustments are for anyone not named Kenny Atkinson, right? Thomas Bryant, you didn't play much. Sam Merrill, my oh my, man. Ever since that missed possible game-winning three-point shot, it's been yikes for you. Because you were good the first two series. And not to make it seem like you were bad this series, because you were terrible. Your efficiency, 35% and 29%. You didn't even shoot free throws right, 60%. Like, legitimately, you fell off of a cliff. And it sucks to see that happen, because you never want anyone to fall off a cliff. Efficiency-wise, it's terrible. You never want to see that. Jalen Tyson, I think you have a ton of potential in this league. Your defense and the way that you play with your intensity is phenomenal. I love to see it. You also look like you care. Even though you didn't shoot that efficiently, you aren't much of an efficient shooter at any point. But, you tried. I'm willing to give you the grace for that, at least, unlike some other players on the team. Craig Porter, you didn't play much. Keon Ellis, I don't know why the coaching staff hates Keon Ellis. I mean, I guess it's just him at this point, because that's been the second team now that is just consistently not played him minutes despite being a phenomenal guard defender. So I don't know why you're sticking James Harden on him and Jalen Brunson in the clutch. Sorry, but that game one really irks me, because if you wanted to have a chance in competing and winning this series, you needed that game and you blew it, right? But I think that also factors into the Knicks being a good basketball team. The Knicks are a phenomenal basketball team, right? Every starter, except for Josh Hart, was in double figures, right? OG Anunoby, we'll start with this. What a way to come back from your injury. You, once again, played well. Three-point shot isn't falling, but you made the right plays. Good turnover or assist to turnover ratio. You played well. Karl-Anthony Towns, man, I legitimately, if you go up against either the Spurs or Thunder, I don't think you're going to get exposed as badly as I thought you would have. I mean, I do think that this is, if they play the Spurs or Thunder, it'll be a 6-game series, a competitive 5 or 6 game series. But I do think that Karl-Anthony Towns' improvement is absolutely phenomenal, and you'll love to see it for him. Josh Hart, right? 6 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists. Absolutely phenomenal role player. He is great, and he will always find a way to contribute. Love that. Mikal Bridges, right? Shot wasn't falling tonight. Still found a way to get active and get involved. Love that. And now, let's talk about the Larry Bird Eastern Conference Finals MVP. Jalen Brunson. What a series you had. What a run that you are on, right? This series, 26 points, 8 assists on 49% from the field and 79% from the free throw line. Notice how I didn't say 3-point shooting. He's shooting 18% from 3. That is a little bit concerning. I'm just going to be blunt with that. That is concerning. That, going up against one of these two teams where they're fine with letting teams beat you by the 3, especially the Spurs, but I don't think they do that simply because of your caliber of player. But that is a little bit concerning. You do want to see him make those shots a bit more, right? I'm not too hesitant about it. I'm just going to trust Jalen Brunson, because I think he's earned that over the course of these few years in New York. Next bench player who really impressed me, Mitchell Robinson, right? 8 points, 10 rebounds, 5 offensive rebounds. He's a dog. He's the best backup center in the NBA. And someone who's really earned my respect, Landry Shamet. This dude has come alive when it has mattered, and he's really been the spark plug that this Knicks team has been missing, and he's absolutely crucial to this team, which is not something I thought I would have been saying, and well, neither did they, as they gave him a non-guaranteed contract to start the year. But what a way to reacclimate yourself into the NBA and show everyone that you belong. Deuce McBride, right? Your role has been kind of cut down a little bit. I do appreciate that you are willing to accommodate and just wanting to see your team succeed and thrive. Like, good. Do wish the efficiency was a little bit better. Then again, you are taking a lot of threes, so not too bad. But I think this Knicks team, right, looking at how they match up against either the Spurs or Thunder, starting with how they match up against the Thunder, right? I do worry that this is not the best matchup for Jalen Brunson because, I mean, they're just going to stick Cason Wallace, Lou Dort, Alex Caruso on him. That is going to be a bit difficult. But I do think that you have the corner shooting to where they're not going to let that happen. Like, you're seeing the Spurs not be able to maximize on their threes, more specifically Julian Champagnie. But that's not going to happen if OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges start making their shots, right? Those are good players. This starting lineup for the Knicks is better than the Thunder. Like, the Thunder, of any of the three remaining teams in the playoffs, they probably have the worst starting lineup in the NBA. It's just their depth is so much better. And that is, once again, something they can utilize against this Knicks team. So I think that isn't a great matchup for the Knicks. I'd say Thunder in a competitive 5 to 6 games. I think that is how the series is going to go. And by 5 games, I mean, I think it'll be like close games. Like, I don't think this is going to be a blowout that people, including myself, thought going into this year that, oh, okay, if the Knicks make it, they're going to get blown out. No, this Knicks team has proven me wrong, and they're one of the most dominant postseason teams ever, as they are at 11 consecutive playoff wins, right? They are a dominant team in the NBA, and it is not a cakewalk to go play the Knicks, right? And another team that might be playing the Knicks, San Antonio Spurs. I think that matchup is probably better for New York, simply because the guard depth isn't as great as it is for Oklahoma City. So that could give Jalen Brunson more opportunities to get to the basket. I also think that if you want to just have Victor Wembanyama, roam in the paint, they're fine with that. With the shooting around him, that'll work. I think that, compared with how fast that the Knicks like to play, that has shown to be an issue for the Spurs, as they like to be in a more half-court setting at points. I think that could be a matchup that they exploit, just getting fast, because at a point in this game, the Knicks, for the points that they had in transition, was over half of what the Cavaliers had. Like, legitimately, at a point in this game, like I'd say halfway through the second quarter, they were on pace to have like 80 points through fast break points. Like, legitimately, they like playing fast, and that is a weakness for the Spurs. So I think that could be a more favorable matchup for the Knicks. I'd still say Spurs in 6, a competitive 6 games. So I do think they end up losing the finals either way, but I do think this is a tremendous run by this Knicks team. And if there's anything that they have done this postseason, it has proved doubters wrong. So this is just another test for them. This is just another walk in the park. Nothing new here. If there's anyone who knows about being constantly doubted and proving people wrong, it is Jalen Brunson. It is Karl-Anthony Towns. It is Mikal Bridges, right? All of these players, even Mike Brown, their coach, they are the pinnacle of finding ways to win, of making things work, where things may look tough, but we're going to weather that storm, right? We're going to find a way to win. And I really think that this Knicks team could pose a legitimate threat. I mean, I don't think it's going to be an easy out for either the Spurs or the Thunder. Absolutely, this Knicks team can compete for a championship. They absolutely can win a game or 2 or 3 or 4 to win the NBA Finals. Absolutely, this Knicks team poses a real threat to whoever comes out of the West. Well, that is all for today's installment of the Scoop with Coop. Hope you all enjoyed. Make sure to go ahead and like, subscribe, because it's, pretty cool to do so. And, let me know in the comments, who do you have? The Knicks, or the Spurs, or Thunder? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure to hit subscribe once again, as it's, pretty cool to do so. Make sure to go ahead and turn on notifications if you want any notifications about anything related to the Scoop with Coop, as I like to think it's pretty cool. But this is the Scoop with Coop, and until next time, so long, everybody.